My daughter won't get an abortion. I'm 42 male. I am a single father to my daughter 14 female. My wife passed away with excessive bleeding after childbirth, so it's just me and her. She's a fantastic young lady, always on honor roll, really good at basketball, and a social butterfly. She doesn't see too much of me because I work 9 to 7, but I'm home for dinner and she started getting really good at cooking something little for both of us. Around Tuesday, I noticed there was something off about her. She was a whole lot quieter than she usually is and there was no chatter during dinner. Right after dinner she went up to her room, even though typically we sit and watch TV together. I figured it was just moody teenage hormones, except it doesn't stop. Friday I finally take her hands and ask her what was wrong. She looked at me and just burst into tears. She cried more, so I held her until she was ready, and that's when she whispered, "I'm pregnant." I was shocked, utterly and completely shocked. I kept on hugging her, but my mind had gone blank. I took her upstairs, tucked her into bed. I didn't think asking her about what she planned to do when she was so vulnerable was a good idea. I'd wait until she calmed down a little. Saturday she came down for breakfast and I sat her down and asked her plans. She said under no circumstances will she abort the baby, it's her baby and she plans to keep it full term. I then asked about adoption, and she said she didn't want to, that she could care for it. I calmly explained that we were no way financially able to care for a baby, and who would take care of it during the day. I go to work, she goes to school, and my parents, although were a big help in taking care of my daughter when she was younger, are too old to watch a baby. She suggested she start online school, which I refused, saying I don't want her to ruin her life. The thing is, I don't even want to consider adoption. I can't imagine her going through pregnancy, then labor, especially with what happened to her mother. I don't know if high-risk pregnancies are genetic, but if she has one, what if I lose her? I told her this, and she asked me if I had no love for my grandchild, but I don't. I don't care at all about the clump of cells in her uterus, I care about her, the girl I raised. I told her today that she had to abort her child. She cried, screamed, begged, telling me to reconsider, telling me that she'd run away. There's no way I'm letting her give birth, she could tear her body apart. And for school, I don't want her to face the stigma and hurt of teen pregnancy. At this point, I see only one way out of this, and that's telling her if she doesn't abort it, I'm kicking her out. It hurts me so much to do this, but if she doesn't do one, I'm afraid her life will truly be over. I won't actually, but I'm hoping it'll push her in the right direction. I'm pretty much manipulating her, but how do I get out of this? Where do I go from here? TL, Doctor, my daughter is pregnant, we can't afford a baby, she doesn't want to give it up or abort it. Update. So today she didn't go to school and we went to the local clinic to her checked out. It's been confirmed, she's definitely pregnant, about 13 weeks along. Everything's fine so far, but she's automatically high risk because she's a teenager. They said she could develop anemia, low blood iron, or blood pressure problems, and on top of that the baby could also be born with disabilities. After the doctors I took her out for ice cream and then asked her who the father was. I told her I had to know, she had to tell me. She refused, saying she'd raise the baby on her own, without his help. We went home and she went to the bathroom and accidentally left her phone open, so I took it and looked through her messages. According to the ones between her and her friends and her and the guy, he's 15 years old and a friend of a friend, she hadn't told him yet. I wrote down his number and then messaged him on my phone, telling him I was daughter's name Dad, and I needed him to give me his mother's number because of a big problem. I expected something of a fight, but the kid messaged it back to me, so I called his mom and I told him my daughter was pregnant, and her son was the father. She asked if I was sure, and I said based off the texts, it didn't seem like she'd had sex with anybody else, but she'd be free to get a paternity test. I said it'd be best if we got together at a coffee shop or something to talk, but she said there'd be no need of that. She said her son would be waiving his parental rights and they were not interested in a co-parenting situation. I asked about child support, and she said her husband would pay it, but her son would not be involved. She asked for me to not tell her about any details of the pregnancy and they don't want to be at any appointments. She hung up before I could say anything else. Now I don't know where I stand. I can't afford a lawyer, and I don't think I can make him get involved either way. I don't entirely trust them to be accommodating in terms of child support considering how short his mother was. Is there a way they could get out of paying it? I don't know enough about their family, but if they have money and we don't, what's happening there? My daughter is no closer in getting an abortion or considering adoption, but I'm going to stop peppering her with it now. My sister and her are talking right now at the suggestion of another Redditor, and I hope a female influence will work better on her than I am. She's sending a little bit of money, and I think I may be able to set up a therapy appointment for her to talk out her options in a professional way, something my sister and I can do.